out. I'd like to see if everything's okay. I'm worried I haven't heard from you for so long.
This is a step in the right direction for world peace.
Oh, they changed the name already? It's called Piscata Ish. Now, it was like a certain thing, now it's called Piscata Ish. I'm confused.
I mean, it was only a matter of time. They must have known it was coming.
No, I think they saw that they're protected as long as they're in Qatar.
Yes, I believe. But there's such a broken message.
It's a message. It's not just like the act itself of removing them. It's also a message to many around. Like you see how much effort they're trying to kind of hit us, and when we hit exact, we hit quiet, and we hit before they even notice.
And precisely put out like over a week ago, when Netanyahu was announcing publicly, said, no matter where you are, you cannot hide, we're going to come after you. Qatar knew about this. They would have heard it very loudly and clearly.
Welcome back on.
Daniel, nice to see you. How you doing?
You're not the same people, but you can imagine.
I can imagine you, but I can't say what I can imagine you doing.
We all did not the same thing.
The show becomes X-rated. Yeah, pretty much. What's happened to your blue mate? Where's your image?
Yeah, it's changed. Is that a new haircut?
Okay, fine. It's good. It's hoots. I like this one anyway. Let me think about like the timing. It's just this could have been said a long time ago. Why is it taking this long to be able to say and to be able to take action on? The warning was put out in advance. It was literally like, hey, look, if you are hiding some of these motherfuckers, then you're going to be held responsible. We're going to go after them. It doesn't really matter. So Qatar would have had to have known about this.
We'll see by their reaction. Maybe.
Do we know if there was a team within Qatar to help with this? It seems unlikely that this type of operation would be done just outside of Qatar. There must have been some kind of internal. Well, there would have been there would have been intel, but there would have been like an internal sort of squad of some sort.
So, guys, sorry to interrupt you. So, I was listening to what you were saying right now. And why was it significant? So, I did a little search on Grok, and it said the 16th of Ulol marks the Elul. Yeah, marks the Yarzit, the anniversary passing of Simon Wiesenthal.
Yod side. It's the Yod side.
Yeah, Anyways, the renowned Nazi hunter who dedicated his life to bringing Nazi war criminals to justice. This was the exact day.
Nice.
So Israel, I've noticed every time they've done an event, there's something very significant and calculated about it.
Poetry, baby. Poetry.
Yes, it is.
I'm curious to know what the other stations are saying.
Israel kiboshed the agreement. They want this war to go on because Bibi's afraid to go to jail. Like, can you tell them that?
It's weird. You know, this is just putting like a flashlight on Qatar and their involvement. Why have they not chosen to be able to put like an absolute spotlight on Qatar for hosting Hamas? There's like a piece of the puzzle that is just missing. Get what I'm saying? Like, it should have been or could have been highlighted by international media that Qatar was literally being the host and supporting, you know, this terrorist regime.
Listen, Hashem knows, Israel knows, and everybody that was involved will pay. Every single one will pay the price for that heinous crime, that horrific terror attack that happened on October 7th. The lives that were changed because of that day, like thousands and thousands and thousands of lives that were changed and affected because of that day. Everybody will pay.
You got me curious about Croc, so I went straight over there. So, an overview of the strike. I'll read it out. On September 9th, 2025, the Israel IDF and Israel's Shin Bet intelligence agency conducted a precise airstrike in Doha, the capital of Qatar, targeting senior Hamas leadership. Explosions were reported in the Qatar district, where Hamas maintains its political bureau headquarters and residences. The IDF confirmed the operation, stating it was aimed at high-ranking Hamas officials responsible for orchestrating the October 7th, 2023 attack on Israel and managing the ongoing war. Measures were reportedly taken to minimize civilian casualties, including the use of precision munitions and intelligence-based targeting. This marks the first known Israeli military action on Qatari soil. Reports suggest that the strike may have killed or injured key figures, including Hamas's chief negotiator and a bunch of others, though confirmations are pending. Hamas sources claiming their negotiations team was targeted during the discussion of the US-backed ceasefire proposal. Qatar condemns the attack as a flagrant violation of international law and norms and a threat to its sovereignty, emphasizing that it struck residential buildings, housing Hamas political members. Isn't that fucking bizarre? Significance. with anything you were saying about the yacht side?
No, I put what's a significant day in the. Hold on. It's today a significant day in the Hebrew calendar. I put.
Okay. I put in what is the significance of the strike on Hamas in Qatar today? I didn't put it in terms of the Hebrew calendar.
Go ahead.
It seems like at the moment the White House hasn't offered any comment. But there are reports that are suggesting at the moment there has been US intelligence that has been aiding this operation. So this is going to put an interesting sort of strain on Qatar, Israel, and Qatar, American and US arrangements because the US has got military bases there.
I'm sure the U.S. signed off on this. There's no way we do it otherwise.
Agree.
Absolutely. You think they're going to ask for Trump to give his airplane back?
Hey, can we have that plane back? Do you mind? Look, we didn't really delay him too much, okay?
Also, Mohammed Awais Musa Abu Marzouk and Khalid Mashal. All of them are figures.
Seeing the names. Zahir Jabareen, Khalid Mashal, and Nizar, yeah, or Dalla. Fuck, I'm glad my name's a little bit more simple than that. Jesus Christ.
13 minutes ago, Trump said to give Israel green light for strikes on Hamas leadership in Qatar. Oh, I like that. Where'd you get that?
I'm going to share it right now, guys. 1 second.
Yay, nice.
Is he going to send a stealth bomber over and take credit?
Probably. There you go. It's on the top of the jumbo.
The jumbo truck. Wow. That's going to make life interesting. Nice. Well, this is all good news to go to sleep with. So, a big adieu. And a beautiful day, gents.
And you. last year.
Thanks for stopping by.
Pleasure, no. See you soon.
So just be aware, all the Jews that are on the app, today's going to be a hostile day. People are going to be attacking you with misinformation again, more than they already do every day.
It's Tuesday. It's every Tuesday.
Oh, you're right. I think it's every day it ends in Y.
Exactly. Maybe change the title, maybe. The meeting was a blast. Doha's meeting exploded.
More. Why did you want to change the title?
The meeting was a blast. I don't know. Try something. I don't know. Maybe
Qatar's meeting was a blast.
was I don't know. Doha's meeting exploded. I don't know. Think of. Yeah, the meeting was a blast.
it's against international law for the starvation to be used as a weapon of war. So that in itself, the fact that he said that on the TV in front of all the world is why they issued arrest warrants. Now, hold on a minute, let me just read you something. The ICC charges against Benjamin Netanyahu crimes under the Rome Statute. The ICC accuses Netanyahu of war crimes against humanity committed during the Israel war on Gaza from 2023 to present. Charge 1. War crimes. Article 8 of the Rome Statute. Starvation of the civilian population as a method of warfare. The blockade of food, water, medicine, electricity, fuel into Gaza as a weapon of warfare. Willfully causing great suffering or serious injury to a body or health. Bombarding residential areas, hospitals, schools, and refugee camps. Willful killing, targeting and indiscriminate killing of civilians, especially women and children. Intentionally directing attacks against the civilian population, large-scale bombardment of areas where no military objective was present. Crimes against humanity, Article 7 of the Rome Statute. Extermination, widespread killing of civilians through bombardment and deprivation of essentials. Persecution, systemic targeting of Palestinians based on their national, ethnic, and religious identity. Number 3, other inhumane acts, forcing mass displacement under conditions designed to make survival impossible. Deportioning of forcible transfer of the population. Ordering civilians in Gaza to evacuate, then striking evacuation routes and shelters. That was the raffle I was telling you about. Evidence cited public statements of Netanyahu and other Israeli officials using dehumanizing language, i.e. humans as animals. Military orders citing of Gaza's essential water, food, electricity, medical supplies, hospital supplies, and fuel. So this is the evidence that they've got. Military orders cutting off Gaza's essentials. Documented strikes on clearly civilian infrastructure, i.e. water plants. Reports from the UN agencies, humanitarian organisations, eyewitnesses on the ground. That's all the evidence that they've gathered so far, and this is when the arrest warrant was issued in 2024. Netanyahu, as Prime Minister, is accused of having effective control over Israel's military. He is to be held solely accountable. Him and that geezer, what's his name? Gavin, is it? Galan, that's the one. Them two have got them two are the ones with the arrest warrants held out against them.
Can I ask quickly?
Yes.
Well, not ask, but say the parts, the things about the destruction, starvation you listed. Yes, but to which parts of the Convention on Genocide do they apply to?
I've just told you the Rome Statute. Just read the Article 7. Article 7 of the Rome Statute.
Scotty, you can have. There's three.
Article 7 of the Rome Statute. That's Article 8 of the Rome Statute, and then Article 7 of the Rome
No, I
Statute.
understand that. What I'm saying, to the Genocide Convention, there is three important parts. First is actus reus, which is the actual act. Second is mens rea, which is the intent, and third is the people, which is the.
I've just read you the intent. This that was the charges.
And I'm telling you, Scotty, if the quotes from the officials were enough for the intent part, then they would be charged. Not even charged.
Have been charged.
No, hold on. Not charged, but then the.
Not charged, but what? Not charged, but what? They've been charged.
No, Scotty, that's not what I meant, because if.
You just said they would have been charged, and I'm telling you, they've been charged.
Scotty, I misspoke. If the quotes met the threshold for the intent part, then the ICC would rule that there is in fact a genocide in Gaza, and then charged either way, but the ruling.
They are charged. They are charged either way, and on top
But
of
they're
that,
not charged for the genocide. They're charged for war crimes.
the ICC are not responsible for making it and naming it a genocide. They're responsible for acting on what they believe and what they see. Right, so that's number one. Number two, the people that are under that class it as a genocide are the professionals who specialise in this subject, who mainly happen to be Israelis, and most of them Jewish, because after the Second World War, after what happened to them, they have got a big interest in studying this subject. So most of them who studied it are leading scholars, as they should be, of the world to this subject. Now, most of them, if not, no, I can't say all of them, but most of them have come out and who they advise the ICC, they advise the UN, they advise each individual country. They have come out and said categorically that it's now. They did it at first because it wasn't. It clear fact, clear cut. Now, with the evidence I've just told you that the ICC put together, and they keep adding every day to these the evidence sheet, that is now classed as a genocide by your scholars, by your peers, by your own side.
The reason why I said at the beginning for you not to cite any scholars or anything like that, because there is underlying material, which is the evidence that we can see ourselves. There is the authoritative opinion, which is judges or scholars looking at that evidence and then making their own decision. So when you cite, me and
you can call it whatever we want to call it. The population can call it whatever we want to call it. The people who advise the courts, the judges, and the rest of them who make a difference are the scholars, are the people that spend their life.
Can those people be wrong or right? Like wrong and right.
Which is why you tend to have many of them from many different walks of life, and this is what I'm trying to explain to you. Many of them are Jews because after the genocide happened to them, they are the ones that had an invested interest in studying this subject.
Okay,
they are the ones that. I want you to answer your question.
Yeah, go on.
Why and when will you, as a group of people, admit that you and your own people of your own side, your own scholars, are calling it that, yet that you still deny it? Why is that? They're not even of a nationality. They're not Chinese. They're not Japanese. They're not Scottish. They're not like me, the lame
This
person.
is the worst part about it, Scotty. Not only are they the professionals, like you said, with an invested interest for over 40, 50, some of them even longer years of studying the horrors of the Holocaust. And these are Jews, but yet they have no credibility. But you, the society of people who are Gen Z, like yourself, have the nerve to say that they're wrong. They're wrong. The people who went through it, their family members, they don't know. You people are sick.
Scotty, to reply to you based on full resistance, I think they could be wrong in the final conclusion. I could agree with them on some parts. The problem for me was
you want them to be wrong. The fact that you want them to be wrong is different whether they got right or wrong. I wanted Scotland to win the World Cup. There's no chance of that happening, but I want them to. It doesn't mean they're going to do it.
That's great and all. The problem is you cannot. What you're trying to do, like the reason why Israeli scholars, Jewish scholars, are cited on this subject of matter is so that you can just say, "Oh, see, these people are yours," and they agree with the fact that this is genocide, and therefore it's a genocide. No. Let's look at the underlying material ourselves. That's going to be a whole.
Once again, I'm telling you, years have done that. What makes you think that your qualification is more better than theirs? That's the point.
Do you realize that the qualification only extends as far as making official statements? So I'm not making a.
No, it comes from them losing the underlying material. What they see is evidence on the ground.
And they say it's not a genocide.
They're saying it is.
No, they're not.
You're out your fucking mind, man. That what you Russian Ukrainian people are nuts.
Resistance, can I ask you a question?
That's why I'm done with this conversation.
Scott, if you can debate, it's fine. Like, no pressure.
No, I can debate, but you can't debate stupid.
Oh, so why am I debating you? Like, there's no reason for me to be talking to you. Right?
Well, if you were actually calling your own people wrong,
Scott, have you heard that Israel have attacked Qatar?
Yes, we
yeah,
did. Yes.
And
you also hear that one of the people that were hit in the building was a 75-year-old Israeli woman.
Oh my. Yeah, that's crazy, man.
Well, did you know they were actually, that's where they were going to hold the peace talks, not the peace talks, the ceasefire talks that they called for, so they called for the ceasefire talks.
Yes.
And then they go and hit the building. It's just beggars belief. I just don't understand them.
They're terrorists. What do you mean? We do understand that.
That's good.
They are terrorists.
Resistance. It's so hard, Scott, if you see it in a different angle, they are exposing themselves. That's the thing.
This is my point. Yeah, this is my point. This is exactly my point. They're exposing themselves to the world, and this is what I was trying to explain to Daniel. You are doing that much. There's that much damage happening to your people, and you're doing it yourselves. This is more than any October the 7th. October the 7th isn't even a patch on what you as a group of people are doing to yourselves, and it's the Zionists doing it to the Israeli people. The Israeli people are the ones suffering because of you Zionists.
Wait, hold on. Just to be clear, I thought, Resistance said it. I actually wonder if Resistance would disagree. Resistance, I thought the Israelis and Zionists are the same, no?
They are the same.
Okay, so there's disagreement.
But within Israeli society, there are good Jewish people who are not Zionists, and we're worried about them.
Yes.
And we're worried about their safety also. You have Christians and you have Jews that are not Zionists.
You're worried about Jewish safety?
Absolutely.
Yes. And you're destroying it and degrading it on a major scale to the extent where the whole world is turning against Jews as a people, rather than the Zionists, horrible Zionists that you lot are, that are doing this and causing this to happen and inflicting on the people of Israel.
Scotty, just out of curiosity, you've been following this conflict for a year, like for a while.
I've known about it since I was growing up, but following it and learning about it, nooks and crannies, in and out, reading books, getting to know everything. And by the way, let me just explain something to you, because you asked me this question before. When I go on holiday, I've got Jewish neighbours, 2 Jewish neighbours, and they look after my house when I go on holiday. They turn my lights on, look after my cat, my dog. They keep an eye on my house. Now, they came with me. They were the ones that actually brought it to my attention to go to the marches, and they marched with the Israeli flag around them, just as I'm wearing the Palestinian flag, and they marched and they were against Benjamin Netanyahu's government, which was mainly what the march was about. So, and they're Jews, they're Israeli. So I've got
it's almost a million of television marching all the time now.
Yeah, you're also doing danger and putting them in danger because of what yous are inflicting, and they live around the world. You're endangering their lives as well, because naive people don't see. Some people see them as don't see the difference between a Jew and a Zionist.
To be fair,
you're in my country, getting educated by my people, yet you're spouting off Zionist rhetoric. It's disgusting. You shouldn't be allowed in. I class you as a terrorist.
Okay, yeah, I mean, the opinion of the British government would disagree with you, but that's the lovely thing, is that you can also always cite the authoritative opinion. Just out of curiosity, you support Palestinian cause, right?
No. Listen. They supported the Palestinian cause, my Jewish neighbours. Listen, my government, if they do not do as they're told and they don't follow the will of the people, they get voted out. So we get terms than anyone else. So if they go against what we want and what the British people want, and it's a majority of us, they get voted out and somebody else comes in. So they tend to, because that's the way democracy works, they tend to follow what we say. When we had the biggest march in our history, and 1 million people went to it, the biggest march in human history in this country, they changed their viewpoint on near enough every aspect. So now they're going to see Palestine as an independent sovereign nation, whereas they weren't before, and that was us that did that, the British people. So Tones, you can say that's the great thing about living in Britain, because the government is different. The government is what we make it, who we choose it to be. And if they don't like what we're doing every 2 years, we can swap them. So every 2 years we have local government elections that run councils and areas. And if we don't like what they're doing, then we change the local area government, which then lets them know that the full-scale government, that they need to conform to what we want, or else they get voted out. It's simple.
You do realize that the local elections, like you can change as like very little in terms of some of the politics. But that's
now you're going to school me. Now you're going to school me on my internal politics.
I mean, apparently I do have to sometimes. It's alright. It's alright.
So basically, if we vote our local elections and change everybody from Labour to Conservative, that means that when the big election comes around 2 years later, then everyone's going to be voting for Conservatives. It gives them 2 years to change the narrative and their view on what they're going to do and what they're going to say. If they carry on going the same way, they'll get voted out and they've done a short term. So you've got to tell them.
Because that's how it happened with Labour, that they made too many promises and then literally U-turned on all of them. Yeah, that seems about right. Yeah, but on the other question, do you support one-state solution or two-state solution for Israel Palestine?
Two-state solution.
Two-state solution with the Palestinian state in Gaza and West Bank, right?
Yeah, and if it was back to the 1967 borders.
Okay, so if we go back to the 1967 borders, then Jordan gets to claim West Bank and Egypt gets to claim Gaza, correct?
No.
Well, I thought you said 1967 borders.
If you go back to that's the proposal that they've got in the minute, and the West Bank and Gaza have always been included in Palestine, so I don't know where you're coming away with that one. And just one more point.
What do you mean West Bank and Gaza were always included in Palestine?
We're always included to be part of Palestine. I'm not going back into history. I'm not going back into history. I'm on about that's
no, it's just the narrative he points. It's just so stupid. When we say go back to the 1967 borders, meaning those borders will become now the Palestinian state, not the people who was motherfucking had them under or controlling them at the time. Don't be a fucking idiot.
Why not go for full on like 1948 borders, like prior to establishment of state in Israel? Why go for 67? Resistance, that's for you.
Because we're going to allow those animals to finally get civilized.
Oh, come on, you don't think Gazans can get civilized or like Arabs in Palestine?
No, I'm talking about the Israelis. We're going to allow them to finally get civilized, so we'll allow them
I know,
to get their state.
Israelis have been civilized since like forever.
Never. They so civilized, they suck the foreskin off baby dicks, right? So civilized.
Resistance, what's your stance? Like,
They're so civilized that they allow American pedophiles that are Jewish here to flee into Israel to seek haven.
I'm sure there are pedophiles in Muslim countries.
So civilized. Show me one instance where the government of any Muslim country helped flee on a pedophile.
You're going down.
You
I'll
can't.
find it in a second. Resistance. Meanwhile, you're for one-state solution, correct?
No, two-state. I want the Muslims don't need to live with those animals.
So a Palestinian state in Gaza and then in Judea and Samaria, correct?
You want a Palestinian state in the West Bank and Gaza and
Yes,
Jerusalem.
Samaria, Gaza, yeah.
The West Bank, Gaza, and Jerusalem.
Okay.
That's the
You
capital.
want both of them to be ethno states.
No, I just want them to be ruled by the Palestinians. They don't have to be ethno anything. Jews can live there too. They'll just be living under once again, the Palestinian laws and rules. We're not like you savages. I just told you that we have to teach you guys how to live civilized.
Oh yeah, I'm sure you can, alhamdulillah. So if Jews...
I'm going to kick you down in a minute.
Good morning. No negative energy. Return back to sender. Return all the negative energy sent to this space back to its sender. Amen.
Scotty, we can talk about this later. I added you, so yeah, we can chat about this later if you want. Resistance.
Yeah, it's talk.
You for once, just out of curiosity, if Jews start getting butchered by Palestinians,
The Jews have been butchered by the Palestinians. The Palestinians have to resist Jewish occupation.
listen,
You mean like what's happening to Gaza right now? Is that what you mean? For reference? Can I get a reference on that? You mean like what's happening in Gaza?
what do you mean?
Yeah, like the Jews are butchering the Gazans right now.
Wait, I thought it was the Zionists, not? Are you just...
Zionists are Jews.
Oh, wait, but...
It's just a different sect. It's a different sect. They are Jews. But what part of that is not?
Oh, so... No, but I thought it was about...
They do have different sets of Jews, just like there's different sets of Muslims, just like there's different
Who is
sets of
allowed to
Christians.
serve in the Israeli government? Are Christians allowed to serve the Israeli government? Are Muslims?
Yep, unfortunately.
Oh, really? Really? I actually did not know that. Oh. Okay.
Who's Christian as
There's no Christian in the Israeli government. This thing is
full of shit.
Hold on, there is difference.
Yeah, honestly, it does sound like a lie.
Between allowing somebody to serve and for somebody to serve.
Bro, shut up. You're full of shit. She made a statement. You knew who she was addressing. And then you run to, oh, Jews and Zionists aren't the same. You knew who the fuck she was addressing, bro.
No, just I thought you did.
Nah, you knew who the fuck she was addressing.
Also,
I
wait.
just finished my coffee.
You do realize that to find your
I
number.
just finished coffee, so like it's all good. It's all good. I've got a lot of energy for you. Where are you gonna run away? You just told Scotty that you're gonna come back. So are you running away?
That's fine. I'm not gonna run away. It's fine.
Okay. Yeah, because I've got high energy. So yeah, let's continue the conversation.
What did we stop on? We stopped on the resistance, but I can address you. What do you want to talk about?
I'm not sure yet.
He wants to talk about everything but what is the fact, which is that Israel's committing genocide. Israel just attacked the innocent people on a flotilla, and Israel just bombed innocent people in Doha. Israel's a terrorist state.
Yeah, I wonder how much Tunisia government was paid to say that it was a mechanical fire. You know, there's video evidence of literally a drone dropping on the boat.
Yeah, because typically if the operator is incapable, just like Greta is and has a bit of a brain tumor, and they start to launch a drone into the air.
I don't think Greta is the operator.
That's fair.
Yeah, I don't think Greta Thunberg.
Oh, no, that was just metaphorical language. You know what I meant. Come on.
No, I don't. Because when I speak, I mean what I say.
Okay.
No. No, I'm not a intellectually dishonest person. I don't speak in parables and riddles when I speak to people. I speak so they understand me. And when I speak, I mean what I say, right? And I say what I mean, okay? So, I don't know if this concept is foreign to you.
So you meant
But as an American, when I speak to people, because I have the freedom of right to speech in my country,
the Zionist Jews are committing genocide against the Palestinians. Yes.
That's right.
This is why they have to play like this definitions game, you know, just a bunch of bullshit. And like, let's just define it, redefine every word every fucking day. Bro, just get over it, bro. You can.
What, you want to play definitions?
I mean, if you like, do that 6 months, just get over it, bro.
Hey, you know him. If he's white, he's Russian. He's a Russian, Ukraine. You know they're devils. White supremacists. Most of them are white supremacists. And he's hiding in the UK, yes. But he don't talk like this to no Muslims in the UK.
100%, and no,
It's masquerade.
100%. He wouldn't dare. No way.
Louisa, sir, unanimous cockroach accounts, no profile picture.
And that's what the fact is. He's not going to go to Speaker's Corner. He's not going to go engage with not one Muslim. He keeps this carbon inside the clubhouse.
Resistant. Half of London itself is Muslim. The Jews are only like in one tiny area, but you have half of the entire East London is Muslim.
Well, to be clear, Jews are in 2 areas, and I mean, yeah, wherever Muslims go, they do leave all of the shit behind. So yeah, Central is pretty stinky.
They leave their shit behind. What do you mean with like leaving their shit behind?
That's why those stinky ass Jews are begging the Muslims to help them with the diamond trade, right?
What do you mean with like leaving their shit behind?
Oh, I thought you knew what I meant. Last time I checked.
Hold on. Let the cockroach speak. He's tough enough on Clubhouse. What do you mean with like Muslims leave their shit behind?
Oh, I thought we were not gonna play the definition games. Are we now?
No, I don't know what it means. Like, let alone the definition.
Oh, go figure it out. I'm sure you're smart enough. Alhamdulillah. Mashallah, you're smart enough, brother.
It's funny because the last time I was looking on the news, it was Jews getting kicked off a plane because they smelled so bad, bro.
Yeah.
The plane couldn't even. Like, what? You guys aren't known for your hygiene, but Muslims are.
Not only that, they chant things like very extremist terrorist takes of completely eliminating an entire race. So you'll hear them say.
So like Palestine will be Arab.
So I'm not finished. Can you grant me the respect I respect you? Right? I don't interrupt you when you're speaking. Can you do the same?
I don't know. Can I?
Oh, you lack self-control to have an actual dialogue. Is that what you're doing now?
Make a little moth, please.
Just speak.
Yeah, you guys just chant things like death to the Arabs, death to the Arabs, death to the Arabs. So they get kicked off of planes left and right. Internationally, the entire globe is watching. Disgusting. You can't sit here and pretend that you're a victim and that everybody else wants to attack you when your children and your youth go on planes and chant shit like this. Nobody believes you. Jig is up, bro. What are we talking about here?
It didn't really help when you came to Amsterdam and you tried to be funny. With your teeth knocked out.
Yeah, you're gonna have to pick a lane, bro. Puff your chest or be a victim, bro. Just deal with the consequences of either one, bro. But just pick one. Stop, you know what I mean? Stop being a coward, bro.
You know what's ironic?
You know what I mean?
They got their asses whooped predominantly by Moroccans, right? Because we have like 460,000 Moroccans in here in the Netherlands, right? And like a small percentage of Tunisians and a small percentage of Bulgarians. Can you guess which of those 3, and the biggest group are Moroccans, right? Which of those 3 countries in North Africa sent 50,000 men to fight the regime of this other psychopath called Adolf Hitler? Morocco. They sent 50,000 men, right? And 25% of them never made it back home, right? And then you got your ass whooped because you could not be civilized.
You know what? I noticed they don't really do this in the States. A lot of our Jews here in the States do not act like this. But when you look at New York, it's a different story. I watched a couple months ago an Israeli girl actually got beat up by the other Jews in New York. I'm like, why are you guys beating this girl? They thought that she was protesting on behalf of the Palestinians. I don't know, it's absurd.
It's funny how we have like 20, 30,000 here in Amsterdam, right? And then we got like the biggest population of Jews living in the suburb called Amstelveen, right? And it's like, I think like it's number around 40,000.
Yeah.
And they hang out like Palestinian flags. I went to school there for 4 years. And like by this odd coincidence back in the day. I went there to school for 4 years. Like very normal, actually Torah observing people. Right? No, none of this they're highly against the state of Israel. Actually good people. So I'll give credit. I'll give credit where credit is deserved, right? But these people are like, y'all are like, we've seen the videos of like 4-year-old, 5-year-old. They start like brainwashing these kids in Israel.
Talking about Palestinians getting brainwashed in the honor of the world.
Unfortunately, Royal, that was isolated. Hold on, Royal, that was unfortunate isolation because that's the only stronghold they have in certain parts of Brooklyn where those super orthodox, homosexual Jews, they have baby blood seats underneath their synagogues in the basement. That was done. They attacked that lady, and the NYPD did nothing. They watched them just attack her, beat her. You know, the savages. They don't leave those parts of
I'm
Brooklyn.
saying it's like definitely an isolated situation. You know, like
Because
the
they
Jewish
scared death when it comes to
the Jewish community where I live at, they don't act like that. They're kind. So when I see this kind of stuff, it's like, whoa, like, what happened? Well, why do we have these extremists, you know, on one end, really far extremists that just love violence, yeah? And love, like, the idea of colonialism. And then we have the other side that's like, no, we're against this. This is not what we believe in. What happened? I don't understand.
I wonder the same thing when I see Arabs going the streets of London.
What do they do? How many people that practice Judaism or are Jewish, or whatever either way, right, are getting like stabbed and shot in any place in the world? Like England, Amsterdam, Italy, France.
nowhere.
It's not happening. It's not happening.
Nowhere. Not even in the second biggest Jewish state. Not even in New York City. They don't happen.
They stab themselves. Hold on.
That is true. They make up their own crimes. Don't they?
Where are you stabbing themselves? I don't remember. Give me 1 second. Where are you guys remember in Miami? You guys getting attacked the most in the occupied land. It's perhaps because you don't belong there. Right? You're occupying land, and then you cry wolf, right? Then you cry wolf. Hold on, then you cry wolf when you get attacked. It's not your land, and it's like sooner or later you're gonna find out because this whole October the 7th, it's gonna repeat itself. It's gonna repeat itself, and you're gonna deport. We already know the plan. Right? You're gonna deport the remaining Palestinians out of the land into Egypt, where they have human rights, right? They will lose the land, perhaps. Perhaps you're going to take the land completely, sure, right? Including the West Bank, God forbid. But when you take the land,
that's like the
you're
worst scenario possible. Can we start talking about like a better start in the right direction?
Then what's going to happen is you're going to allow them to grow their money, their weapons, and you're going to see an October the 7th that's going to make this October the 7th like a breadcrumb.
No.
It's going to be a matter of time, man. It's like the gig is already up. Your economy is flatlined. Your investors are gone. More than 1.1 million have left ever since 3.5 years ago, right? Out of those 1.1 million, 700,000 plus and counting have left since October the 7th. Like it's already like it's like a countdown at this point. It's a sinking ship. You know it. That's why you do this, hiring people, all these trolls on the internet, right? Cockroaches like you yourself. You're defending it. You're not even from that land, bro. You're maybe Polish or German.
No, he's Russian and Ukrainian.
Ukrainian. Oh, there you go. He's Ukrainian.
This is what I mean. Now, why we do this? Like, why we do
He's
this?
Ukrainian. He's
Bro,
like,
look what we doing, man.
are you practicing? I don't read Hebrew, so whatever.
Listen, I gotta go in the next like 10 minutes. Can we like have a solution-based conversation that's peaceful? It's not full of gaslighting. Not
There's
negative.
only one solution: Intifada revolution.
Okay, so you are pro one state solution. I don't know what you said. 2 states, you idiots.
Two-state solution, and to get the two-state, we must bring the wrath of Hashem to you people.
Royale, you
I
want to
don't
talk
believe in
about
either.
this?
I don't believe in ethno states. I'm an American. I believe in separation of power.
You don't believe in ethno?
No, I'm an American. I am an American, and I believe in separation of church and powers.
Ethno states on paper or ethno states in practice?
This nonsense.
Wait, I didn't hear your question. Ethno state of what?
Ethno states on paper, so as in when the country self-declares as ethno state, or ethno state in practice, whereby it has basically majority population of one ethnicity.
This is a guy move.
No, I don't believe in ethno states of any kind. Like I said, I'm an American. I believe in separation of church and power. So no, not on paper. I don't believe in it on paper. I don't believe in it in practice. Neither.
Okay, so you would support this?
I cannot hear him. Am I in the Matrix or is he?
No, he's just like a confused boy.
And a bunch of other states as well. No? And Israel, of course, how can I forget? You would support the dismantlement of all of those states?
No problem.
Oh, what happened, Real? What happened?
What do you mean? What happened? Can you guys hear me?
Yeah,
Okay, I'm walking around my campus. No, I don't believe in any ethno state. I don't believe in Iran. I don't believe in the state of Israel. Any ethno state. As an American, I do not support the idea. Absolutely not.
Okay, fair enough. So you would support dismantling half of the states in the Middle East. Okay, fair enough.
Yeah. But do I believe it in a violent way that's happening now? No, I don't believe in violence and displacing the people. I believe in reform.
How do you imagine reform happening in the Middle East? How exactly? Tell me.
Well, obviously, I don't have the power to do that. So.
It's not a question about power. It's a question about how.
Not by killing babies, bro.
Right.
Not by
A
killing babies.
non-violent reform.
Like what? You killing people?
Let's say Saudi. If let's say.
Why are you making this about Saudis and other regions? Why is brother making a flare? That's all he does. Deflecting. Well, what about the Saudis? Just say, Al-Qaeda, Mujahideen, just throw out some terms and names of groups. Right? By the way, you gonna join my room in 2 days from now about who and why and when exactly the whole event regarding 9/11?
Oh, Ludwig, I tried to send you the link yesterday. Tucker Carlson did a interview with Pierce.
Oh, yeah, I've seen that one.
Yeah, that's what I was just about to ask. Did you guys watch it?
It's yesterday. He's doing a documentary about 9/11.
Who? Mehdi Hassan? Or is it another?
No, Tucker Carlson.
He's just another troll, bro.
Real.
That's literally all he is.
What was your royal, whatever?
Talk to me. What's up? What's your name, by the way? I cannot read Hebrew. What do I address you?
Daniel.
Okay, what's your question, Daniel?
If all the countries in the Middle East were, say, to get reformed, so Israel, Saudi, Lebanon, Syria, then all those, and they just so happen to form around major cities into ethno states, would you support that?
I just told you I do not support ethno-state. Why would I want to reform into an ethno-state? That makes no sense.
But if the people want to reform the ethno states, you would be denying them sovereignty. Not sovereignty, but like,
They can believe that, they're being restricted, but once they go under the reform, they'll understand that they're being granted a better autonomy. So I really don't care.
I wouldn't even entertain this guy's hypotheticals. These Jews get on here and they do it. They use these hypothetical arguments.
It's like series of course you wouldn't entertain it because you're not smart enough. You're kind of
no, because who entertains hypotheticals?
You don't have enough brain power.
No, you don't have enough brain power to stay on topic. You keep bringing up these hypotheticals. We're talking about what's happening in reality, not fucking hypotheticals, you idiot.
If you say
idiots bring up these hypotheticals.
say brain powers.
Like what? You guys bring up these hypotheticals in order to have these dumbass arguments, bro. It does not justify a fucking genocide,
That's
a fucking killing kids,
That's
bombing
right.
kids. Are you fucking stupid? Oh, hypothetically, if we were to group people in the major cities, like shut the fuck up.
Speak about hypotheticals. Let's stop. What do you want to speak about? Let's speak something pragmatic.
You're the one making up the hypotheticals. They talk to you about Israel and you start making it. They start speaking to you about Israel and you make it about.
No, because she said that she's against ethno-states. So
yeah, you guys are self-proclaimed ethnos, apartheid ethno-state.
Yeah, what do you mean?
Like what?
Apartheid.
What do you mean? There's fucking gates set up everywhere. You guys lock people in and put them through checkpoints where the race that they are is absolutely relevant to whether or not they could pass through the gates or not. That's apartheid.
Is it?
Yeah, it is.
So let me ask you this question. An Israeli Arab goes into
There's no such thing.
Yes, there is. There is Israeli.
No, because there's no such thing as a fucking Israel. It's a made-up state that these guys got pushed to as refugees. I don't respect it.
There had to be something hard enough. I thought that resistance was going to be that kind of way, but fair enough. I mean, you're kind of...
No, it's fucking fake, bro. You guys were refugees. You're Ukrainian. You're an actual refugee now.
Okay, so you don't believe that the state of Israel exists?
No, I don't believe they have the right to exist. They've already fucking denied that right by going about the things the modality they have chosen to go about establishing a state has already invalidated the right to exist.
Which is what?
But you want to talk about brain power. Are you stupid?
I think the claims in 1948.
We do brain power now, right? We're going to do brain power. Let me figure out your brain power. Is this a genocide or not? According to the definition of genocide, is this a genocide, yes or no? Just simply yes or no. We no monologue. Just yes or no.
No.
How many genders are there out there? Two. So you can figure that one out, but you can't figure out the fucking genocide, can you? You dummy.
Well, you can't figure out genocide either because clearly you're wrong. You're stupid.
You're clearly not wrong. You're stupid as an idiot. What's stupid is that your mother didn't swallow it.
I'm sure you're right, you little dickish bastard. I'm sure you're right.
Rather be bastard than a pro-Israeli. Tell you that much. Like what? You even self-proclaimed Russian and Ukrainian. Self-proclaimed. You already invalidated your right to the Middle East, you dipshit.
And you're Palestinian or something. Oh, please tell me you are. Maybe.
Well, that has nothing to do with you not having any connection to the land. I don't give a fuck what I am. You dumbass. I'm not killing babies, killing innocent women and elderly to take over a land that I have no connection to. Don't make me relevant to your problem. I'm not part of your problem, you idiot.
Latif, what is your stance on Israel-Palestine exactly, just so I understand it?
Death to Israel. That's my stance.
That's it.
That's it. That's short and sweet. Right?
You don't even care about the establishing a Palestinian state. You just don't want Israel there.
Nobody wants Israel there.
Nobody wants them there. You guys kill people. You're a murderous regime.
He thought I was the only one out of the 8 billion people that didn't want Israel there.
Nobody wants them there. You guys are not welcome.
No, it's just when you say that you're pro-Palestine or something, I thought you would actually want to establish a Palestinian state. But clearly, just like most of Arab leadership and anybody else,
There you go.
don't really give a shit about the Palestinian state. You just don't want Israel there. Okay, that's fine. You can do that.
Nobody wants Israel. Bro, even the fucking UFOs, the aliens, and whatever the fuck shit not more is in this universe don't want
Okay,
Israel.
let me ask you this again.
Go ahead, ask another retarded question.
Establishment of a Palestinian state.
What was that?
Do you want establishment of a Palestinian state?
They were already established.
I already established you, dummy. You're like, you're getting stupider with every question.
What?
He's gonna try again. He's reading from his screen.
No, what?
They were probably established way before Ukraine was.
When? I'll tell you when.
Okay, so one leader of Palestine, of Arab Palestine.
Up until the 14th of May, 1940. You know it?
Oh, there was a Palestinian Arab state there.
Doesn't matter whether it was Arabs or
Palestinian Arab
Europeans.
state.
It was a land called Palestine. So you can like cry all you want and like deflect. But you know,
Wait, I thought there was a state.
it was a state, it was a land, it was a country. They had their own currency,
Oh,
their
yeah,
own
but they
people.
don't that.
But you crashing. You're almost there. Come on. You're getting frustrated. Come on, try it. Say something else. Say Hamas.
You know what I've never understood, right? They're always like, oh, there was no country called Palestine. Well, Israel was not a modern state by modern standards either as well. But why can you bring back
Their second prime minister in Israel history said, I'm Palestinian.
Right.
Palestinian.
So
They had Palestinian passports. He knew it was a land of the people and the people that had a culture. It's just a fool.
Was this
I don't remember the original Israel, the one we brought back 3,000 years ago. What was their flag? What was their national identity?
It wasn't the star of Run Fan. It wasn't the star of Run Fan.
Exactly. Aziz, what was the flag of Palestine? Tell me. Of Arab Palestine. What was the flag of Arab Palestine?
Tell me the because obviously you're bringing Israel back, right? What was the original flag of Israel? Do you know? Can you tell me?
It's red flag, Amos 526.
Exactly, because it's not this hexagram that you got. That's a Kabbalistic Satan worshipping star that you got.
Hold on, no, I know Star of David is not originally Jewish.
It's Star of Run Fan. Star of David. David didn't even know that star.
Okay, Magen David is your precise location. Magen David, alright? You know what Magen David is from Ivrit? It means Shield of David.
No, it doesn't. You dummy.
Also, now you know the Hebrew better than I do. Alhamdulillah. Praise Hashem for the existence of State Israel. Alhamdulillah. Come on. Look, it's not being so stupid. Come on.
I can't be that stupid in this genocide.
Aziz, name me a single leader of Arab Palestine. Name me a single leader prior to 1948.
Try harder, but
Well, Luther King can do it as well, unless you can't. Of course you have to. You're stupid. Come on.
yeah, I'm
One of you, come on.
No, the person that is stupid is the person that doesn't acknowledge.
Of course.
The
Name me
person that is
one
stupid
leader
is
of
the
Arab
person that
Palestine
doesn't
before 1948.
acknowledge.
Name me one single leader, and that's all I'm asking. Name me one single leader of Arab Palestine before 1948. Can you?
Yes, the leader of the Ottoman Empire.
Wait, Ottoman Empire was not Arab Palestine. I don't think they're the same.
Hey, I got a
governing body.
question for
Oh,
you.
no, God. Oh, okay.
Hey, for the guy with the Hebrew letters, here's a question for you. What does Hannibal directive mean?
Say it again.
Hannibal directive.
Let me Google it. Hold on.
You got the mosquito. You got the Hannibal directive, mosquito directive. There's like a bunch of fucked up directives.
No, I just want to know one, the single one. What does the Hannibal directive mean? He goes quiet. They didn't prepare.
I'm quiet because I'm researching like you, stupid shit.
Oh, you researching? Okay, yeah, they didn't prepare for this.
You're from Israel and you don't know what the Hannibal directive is?
See you next Tuesday then, innit?
Israeli, you say. You was born there.
Hannibal
They didn't prepare all of
that you guys executed on October the 7th, killing your own people, including the hostages, right? Because if the hostages are dead, then there is nothing to negotiate.
Did you guys see the interview of the whistleblowing IDF soldiers that were instructed?
There are so many of them, man.
That were instructed not to guard that area specifically at the times that the October the 7th occurred. They're gonna hang Netanyahu. That's what's gonna happen in the next year or so. There's so many whistleblowing IDF soldiers right now. It's not even funny. You guys are falling apart. They don't even pay attention to news. They don't pay attention to shit, but they want to talk to people about brain power and call people stupid. You're a fucking idiot.
I mean, it's almost 2 years ago, you know. This guy still hasn't figured out this thing called Hannibal Directive. It's been admitted by.
The thing is,
hold on.
It's policy. It's policy.
It's also admitted. It's not a conspiracy theory. It's not like you Zions like to throw out those terms a lot, right? It's been admitted by your own government that they have opened fire on their own people
With the Apache helicopters and tanks shelling.
and if you look at the holes of these cars, right?
Okay,
Hold on. I know you're gonna panic. Hold on. Please. Right? If you look at the holes in the cars, right? They were parked at the festival, right? They turn into like Swiss cheese. An AK-47 cannot do that. Now, I'm not a weapon expert, but I know enough about weapons to differentiate what comes from like a freaking crazy ass machine gun that's attached to an Apache helicopter. It makes fucking holes in cars the size of like a fucking tennis ball, and the hole that's being put in a car that's the size of like perhaps like the diameter of a cigarette or a cigar, maybe. Right? You had holes in cars. Oh, you're gonna panic. I know you're not gonna like this. You got holes in cars that are the size of a freaking tennis ball. Cannot be done with a machine gun, bro. It comes directly.
do you know what you use for that? Do you know what you use for that?
No. Stop.
Oh, you scared now. You scared now.
What would you use for that? I'm a weapons expert. What would you use for that, Daniel?
Something
Let me hear this.
along the lines of RPG, perhaps? So that
RPGs?
RPG? Are you stupid?
RPGs?
Oh, come on, I was just trolling you. Come on.
Now you're
Yes.
Don't be so harsh.
To go back to the Hannibal Directive, can you give me a name and location and time of an individual person who has been killed according to that directive? Can you do that?
Bro, you're stupid. We
Oh,
know
no, you
were
can't.
stupid.
Okay, no, okay.
The hostages.
What type of name do you want? You got articles, right, written, admitted by the Israeli government themselves that they have executed what is called the Hannibal Directive. It's not even discussable, debatable. It's like, well, this is not really true. You guys have admitted it.
Do you think most Israelis who were killed by IDF?
This is about most people.
Yes.
What are you gonna say? What are you gonna say about your own government killed those people on October 7th? They were involved. What are you gonna say about that? You support your government that killed their own people?
They already had pre-warning.
Technically.
I'm not saying any shit. You can just Google Hannibal Directive. Done by the Holy shit.